Hello everyone, it's Torchlight. Just wanted to say before we start the video to hit the like button and subscribe. And if you haven't listened to the other short horror stories I've done, make sure to listen to them. Enjoy. Well, that didn't go the way I wanted, I said, standing up and grunting. I looked up towards the sky to see if I could see the plane passing by. Well, it doesn't look like they plan to follow me, so that's a plus, I said, unbuckling the parachute from my back and throwing it on the ground. I then took a look at my sling backpack coated in seawater. Shit, I said as I began to rummage through it. Come on, where are you? Ah, there it is, I said, pulling out my satellite phone that had a massive crack through the screen. Oh, please turn on. I clicked the power button and all I got were sparks. Well, that's good. I threw it back in the bag and looked up towards the bright blue sky. Okay, so they did track the phone, so they know the general area I was in when I went dark. So I just need to wait until they come and pick me up. I took a look at my watch, and it was 4 p.m., which left about 2 to 3 hours of sunlight. There's no way they will be here in time, so I better start a fire. I started gathering driftwood and some rocks to make myself a little campfire on the beach. With enough effort and watching enough survival shows, I was able to start a fire. That went out a couple times, but was easy enough to start again with the embers. About the time I found myself with a crackling fire, the sun began to go down and the sky began to fill with stars. Damn, was it beautiful. No light pollution, so the night was filled with the entire glory of the galaxy. I reached into my bag and pulled out what I went through so much trouble to steal to make sure it was okay. Luckily, it was perfectly fine. Strange little box. Engravings of eyes, mouths, and teeth. Wonder why he's willing to pay so much for something so creepy. What seems like a piece of junk. A new one. What's its name? Does it matter? Who's there? I said, standing up and looking back towards the tree line that lay by the beach. No response. I got stranded. I put the box back in the bag while approaching the tree line. I could use some help. I waited, but no response. Look, I'm not going to hurt you, please, I said once again. This time I heard what sounded like a stampede run in the opposite direction, which made me jump. Many people were watching me. Wait, I said, running into the forest. I can't just stay on the beach. I have no idea what kind of predators are on this island, so I charged in. I reached in my bag and pulled out the flashlight I had. Luckily it still worked, or I'd be truly screwed. I chased the stampede of people, but no matter how fast I ran, I felt like they just got further and further away, and I eventually stopped. Fine! Leave me to rot on the beach, then! I yelled in a labored tone, beginning to turn around. But which direction did I come from? I looked all around, so no source of light from the fire had started. Shit, I said, looking in all directions. Not ideal. It's lost. Can't find the light. Lost little thing. The people were all around me, whispering, mocking me. Who are you? What do you want? I realized now I should think before trusting completely random people. I moved my flashlight around trying to see them, but all I could see were silhouettes. They don't look right. The silhouettes looked malformed and disjointed. My heart began to race and the fear inside began to well up. Look, I'll just go back to the beach. Just leave me there. I assure you someone will pick me up in the morning. Hopefully, I thought to myself. Leave. Can't leave. No. All lost. Look, I'm just gonna leave. Feel free to try and stop me. I began walking in just a random direction, hoping it was the right one. All of them were still moving around me, but it was strange. It looked like they didn't even move. It was almost like I was walking in place, but I was passing brush and different trees. What is this? They didn't approach, they just watched, staying in the exact same distance the whole time. I moved to shine my flashlight towards them, but they moved this time, ducking and disappearing into the darkness. Ugh, creepy. I shuddered and continued walking. This island was strange. As I walked, I thought I would hear animals. But there was nothing. Not even insects filled the night air, but a stench did. A putrid scent of what smelled like week old fish that had been baking in the hot sun. But the smell was everywhere. As I continued walking, I saw a light. Did I walk towards my fire somehow? I quickened my pace to get out of this blasted forest, rushing past trees and branches that were hitting my face until the light was in reach, and as I passed through the final brush, the light was gone. But there was something left, an old campsite. And when I say old, I mean old. There was a coat that looked to be from a British soldier from the 17th century, but there was no decay on the coat. There was dirt and grime, sure, but it looked like it had been made in the past year. I looked around the campsite further. Whoever was here made a tent out of what looked like a sail? And in the tent was a journal. I picked it up and began to read it. Day 2. Looks like I'm the only one to survive the storm. Those poor unfortunate souls. May God have mercy on them. May also have mercy on me, for I am stranded washed ashore by the storm. Day 5. Seems that luck shines down on me. Fish here are many and almost jumping into my arms. They taste a little strange, but I find it better than starving. But alas, I may die on this island, along with the cargo that we carried. I do not remember how or when, but the box found its way into the pocket of my coat. I feel as the eyes upon it stare at me with a hunger that I cannot fathom. By the Lord as my witness, I saw the eyes move. I keep it in my coat pocket now. I can't stand looking at it. I stopped reading for a moment and took out the box I carried. It feels like the box that he described, but that can't be right. Right? I kept reading, but most of the pages were scribbles. Only the last page remained. One sentence. We are all lost. We are all nameless. We are but flesh to be molded. I felt a deep chill go down my spine. This man went mad. That's what I told myself, but I couldn't stop the shaking feeling that it was something more. Oh, it's scared. It needs love. It needs to be molded. I stood up and looked around me again. They were back, the figures that lie in wait in the shadows. They have something to do with this, all of it. Who are you? I yelled at them. What are you? They scared me. Who or whatever they were, but I had to know what the hell happened here. I held out the box towards them. What does this have to do with what I read? There were murmurs of excitement. It has the box. It has been chosen. Carne grows. I could see them now. I moved my flashlight onto one and I felt my heart drop. It was just a mound of flesh. It gyrated like a heartbeat. Eyes blinked and looked around wildly, and mouths moved with no words. Holy shit! I yelled, running blindly, not caring which way I went as long as it meant away from those things. When I looked back, I saw a blur of flesh and felt a white-hot pain in my wrist. I stopped. I looked down. My hand was gone. I screamed and blood began pouring from it like a geyser. It looked like something had bitten my hand clean off. Looking up, I could see now that the trees, the brush, everything was flesh. Teeth, eyes, ears, mouths gibbering. I fell on my knees and tore off a piece of my shirt to use as a tourniquet, wrapping it around my mangled stump and pulling tightly. Grunting through the pain, I closed my eyes to just breathe for a moment. I looked back down to my hand. It was back. The pain was gone. I looked around and everything seemed to just be a forest again. Dark, but a forest. There's no way I imagined all of that. I stood up holding my flashlight in one hand and the box in the other. Playing with my mind, huh? What are you? I yelled towards the blackness that surrounded me. This one's smarter than most. The reason that the box found him. Doesn't matter. He will help Kane. Yeah, that's what I thought. I sighed. What do you want with me? I asked. I was still afraid, whatever this is. I'm sure it can kill me any time it wants. Kane. I don't know what that is. I started walking, just hoping to get away from it, even though I knew it was fruitless. I kept a piece of cloth wrapped around my hand and looked at it as I walked, feeling as if I took it off that my hand would just fall off as well. Like the cloth was the only thing keeping it there. I put my hand back in my pocket and kept walking. I felt the box in my other hand, and I took another look at it. It was strange. It looked as though the engravings were more defined, now the color more abundant. Like a new life was breathing into it. It really was a beautiful box. Each of the eyes engraved were different and unique. The mouths showed a rainbow of emotions from terror to joy. The buyer told me to keep the box closed, but how could I not look into such a beautiful box? I slowly opened the lid, and I saw beautiful things. A life filled with nothing but joy. No wars, no sadness, no need for money. Paradise. Everyone together living as one being. I felt tears stream down my face as a wide smile spread across it. This was the meaning of living, to find this joy and not let it go. When the box closed and I dropped it. No. I went to pick it up, but the ground opened up and took it from me. No. I tried to get it back by digging in the ground with my hands, but I couldn't dig fast enough. No, please. I started to cry. I want it back. I want what the box has to offer. It looked. It breaks. It wants. I looked up and I saw it. A humanoid form made of eyes and teeth. I felt no fear, though. I felt a need. A need for what? Can you give me what I want? I got to my knees to plead with it. Be one with Kane, and you will get what you want. It held out its hand, a malformed thing of many fingers and an eye in the palm. I slowly reached out my hand for it. I know what it means now. It's just like the journal said. We're all but flesh to be molded. I took its hand and looked at its head. A head made of only eyes and mouths. As I took its hand, they all opened up, and I could see what I wanted. The endless joy and peace where no war can reach and no sadness can enter. It made me forget who I am. My body and my mind molded with it, becoming more than I could ever hope to be. With it I am one. With it I become nameless. In the sea of joy. For we are Kane. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you. Have a great night, morning, whatever time of day it is. Thank you.